you just assume that Adam has like terabytes of like blackmail material?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Before we actually start recording.
Oh, well, it's too late.
Okay.
I can edit stuff out.
Do we want to talk about what we're going to do for Resident Evil? Or are we just going to do Resident Evil? Should we talk about our Resident Evil plans? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So now I don't have to edit that out.
Now you don't have to edit that out. Perfect.
Sweet.
All right. So I think today we're going to talk about Apocalypse Now, which seems strange, but
that's how I feel every
day. It's just Monday. We're not actually talking about the movie. It's just Monday.
Yeah. I've never seen the movie.
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's kind of related.
We're going to talk about Overwatch again, because Overwatch is cool.
Because nobody can get enough Overwatch, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, is it EVO 2017?
I think it's EVO.
EVO 2017. And that's how out of the loop I am. So I'm just going to be quiet during that part.
What's that?
So I guess so are you. It's just
exactly
talking to himself.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to talk about some Resident Evil stuff.
I'll do a puppet show. It'll be great.
Because that translates really well
I will
to a
describe
podcast.
the puppet show.
Oh.
Play by play. You can do color.
We'll talk cheap games, we'll talk free games, and then we'll talk some little mobile games.
Okay.
But first we're going to talk about your games.
What about my games?
What about your games?
What I'm playing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have the show notes in front of me, so I'm just kind of going
it's
with
all
this.
right.
So I've still been playing The Last of Us.
Nice.
Which is fun. It's good. It's definitely challenging because I've never really gotten into a stealth game before.
Yeah.
And, there's these things they're called bloaters.
Which ones
the
are
big
they?
Fat guys.
Yeah, well, kind of. They're the what are those? The clickers. Okay. So there's these things called clickers that have like this fungus stuff growing all over them. And they do this like sonar kind of
thing. I don't like them.
Oh, I love them.
Really?
Those are my probably one of my top 5.
But they're the ones you have to kill with a shiv, right?
Yeah.
You can't shoot them.
Or you can use it with a melee weapon or something. No, and you can kill them with a shotgun.
I don't have a shotgun yet. I need a shotgun.
How do you not? It's like that happens in a half hour.
Really?
I want to say.
Unless you just walked over it, right?
Oh, I hope not.
You could just
a half hour once you start the game, not a half hour including the opening sequence.
I don't think so. I don't think I have one yet. Maybe I'm not as far in as I thought I was. I've got a pistol and I've got like a better pistol, but I don't have a shotgun.
Yeah. Well, I've got a shotgun and a hunter's rifle and a bow and arrow.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fun.
I need more stuff.
But yeah, you can blow their faces right off.
So I can remember.
It's good.
I haven't played it since day one, and then like probably played through it in 2 days, and then haven't played it since. So I should probably revisit it for.
Nice.
Oh, I ended up getting a one of those PlayStation Gold headphone sets. The with the 7.1 surround sound.
Is it actually gold?
No, it's just the gold. There's gold and platinum.
Much cooler if it was actually gold.
Yeah. No, it's this matte black.
You look like a DJ pimp.
Right? You've never seen I used to DJ quite a bit extensively, and I've got like a mixer, and I've got the legit like.
Were they gold?
No, they were silver.
That's what I.
Did you wear a big mouse head too?
I did not.
Okay.
Well, yes. Now you know my secret. I am dead mouse.
You are dead mouse.
Not really.
You're a dead mouse.
I'm
reincarnated into a bearded man body. In a sweater.
I'm the joke of the day around the office because I'm wearing a sweater, which I have worn before.
It's a nice looking sweater. I don't know. Thank you. These people are dumb.
I have worn this sweater before, and nobody has given me as much crap about it as I have
Dylan
today.
I didn't think I was giving you crap. I made an observation that you were wearing a sweater.
You have observed my sweater every interaction we have had today. Puffy nice jacket man. Just because the jacket's puffy doesn't make you any thicker. You're still skinny.
It makes me like Shaft.
Like Shaft.
Look at me.
Anyway.
Except for that whole white thing you got going on.
Yeah, video games.
What? So anyway, Last of Us, I really like it, but the headphones, it's got the 7.1 surround sound.
Do you notice it? I mean...
it scares the crap out of me. It scares the crap out of me.
There's something behind my couch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's creepy. So I've been playing that, and I really, really enjoy it. I'm guessing I'm probably close to halfway through the game.
Nice.
Just because I'm not... I wish I could be one of those people that sits, and plays for 6 to 8 hours at a stretch.
Right,
I just
that'd be
can't.
amazing.
Yeah, I can't.
I can. I just don't have... I have to work and stuff.
Well, you can and you do. It's called Rocket League.
Yeah, well, that's only like 3 hours.
Is it?
Yeah, I play... Well, 3.5.
Yeah.
Like 6:30 to 10.
Oh, and what was the other game I'm playing?
You played Rocket League.
Oh, yeah, duh. I was like, I don't have the notes. So I started playing Rocket League because I bought that on whatever sale Sony was having a while
back.
I
was like, hey, Adam, Rocket League's on sale. You should buy Rocket League.
And I did.
Because I'm a pusher.
Are you mad at me? Because you look very serious right now.
Because I took my hat off?
You got your serious hair on today.
Does he have non-serious hair? Actually,
I've seen his hair
when it's not serious.
Yeah.
It gets very poofy.
But anyway, so I fired up Rocket League last night because I got to a part in The Last of Us that had a bloater that kind of comes out of nowhere and scared the living crap out of me. Along with these things, there's runners which just kind of run around and they can see you.
Hence the name.
Yeah, but they run really quickly and they can see you, but they don't go right for you. But these in particular are called... I cannot remember what they're called, but they actually go after you.
Ugh.
They come out of nowhere and they know where you are and they just go right for you.
Sounds awful.
It's terrible and freakish and scary because you're in a flooded basement of a giant hotel in Philadelphia and you can barely see and you've got these things just running all at you.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that it was a bloater fight, which are somewhat difficult, I said, okay. And I said, I went ahead and set that down.
For a minute.
Yeah, and fired up the Rocket League and realized that I might not be terrible at it.
I think that's actually the biggest bonus about Rocket League is that you can get into it and like almost immediately be productive, especially if you're playing with other good people. In that, as long as you kind of get the fundamentals down, you can be pretty good. And then everything past that is just like this slow. Like I'm sure that if you went in and like practiced, if you
right.
Legit just like I'm spending 7 hours dribbling today, you could, and people do. Like I mean, there are
dribbling.
Oh yeah. I mean, practice dribbling, practice doing aerials, practice. I mean, there's all sorts of things.
What's dribbling?
Like you do with a soccer ball, but you just do it with the front of your car.
I guess just practicing hitting a ball in front of you,
redirecting it in front of you.
Goal.
Oh, okay. I was like, can you legit like bounce on top of the ball and bounce your card?
He's thinking basketball.
No, that's basketball.
Yeah, I know.
No,
yeah.
soccer dribbling.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
different, but
yeah,
like you're kicking the ball ahead of you.
Yeah,
and then you
kind of in front of your car.
Keep chasing after, and you kind of keep kicking it ahead.
Yeah, but not too far.
But like not so you like kick it, like shank it off to one side, and then like I hope someone else gets it.
But I mean, there are
you
people,
control
and
the
you
ball.
can like get it to like rest on your hood. You can, I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. Oh yeah,
no,
yeah. Go watch when we're done here. Go watch like a Rocket League freestyle video. You'll be amazed what people can do.
Like I was really happy with myself that I was able to pull off that sideways bounce.
Oh right,
thing.
I'm happy when the ball goes forward, like away from my goal. Like
I'm happy when I don't hit it into the opposing team's goal.
Yeah. No, you want to hit.
I mean, your
into
my own goal.
Yeah. But I think the nice thing about it is past that, like everything past that is just like this real smooth transition. You just like get nominally better every game you play, to the point of where
better
I look at myself
or
and
luckier.
Like, yeah, exactly right. Like I don't know if I'm legit any better than I was like 100 hours ago, but I know that I'm playing against better people and I'm not doing any worse. So I have to assume that I'm better than I was. But it's a really the game never really feels like I've ever quite mastered it. Just like that I'm progressing at a pace where I get better.
Yeah, after playing it for a while, have you played it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we played it together.
Oh,
you're next.
It's fun.
It's real fun. We'll play. My brother plays too. We'll do like a 4-on-4 versus people.
I almost bought a car by accident because I was flipping through and I was like, oh, look at this car. That's really fun. Click $1.99. I'm
like, wait,
no, don't want to buy it.
Seems like a pretty good deal for a car.
It is. Yeah,
in a game,
a little virtual car. I have bought multiple cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I own the Batmobile. I bought the.
You could buy the Batmobile,
and the Back to the Future car,
the DeLorean.
Yeah, the DeLorean. Yeah.
What?
See, now that $2 doesn't sound so.
Now I'm like, that $2 sounds like money well spent.
You're like, I'd spend $6 on that, and they're like, okay.
And I bought. Let's see, I bought the Takumi, which is kind of a Porsche-looking car, and then I bought the whatever the one is for the underwater level. So I've bought.
There's an underwater level?
Yeah, you play. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, you play in like this domed-off like underwater level. So you're not underwater, but the arena is. But you can see like sharks and stuff swimming by on the outside. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's fun.
Like you're in a fish zoo.
Yeah. I bought the pack that came with
also known as an aquarium.
Good job,
fish
Adam.
Zoo.
I was seeing if you would. You would get that.
Yeah, I was picking up what you're putting down.
He's good. I think I bought the expansion for the Wasteland level 2 that gave you a couple cars. So I've spent a little.
You
bit
get
of
like
money
the Mad Max mobile.
No, wait, kind of. Yeah, I mean,
it's probably just not.
Yeah,
that car doesn't actually have a name.
But, like the new Mad Max movie.
I think you're the only person that doesn't like it, which is kind of a recurring thing. You didn't like it either, did you?
I liked it when I saw it, and the more I talked about it afterwards, I started convincing myself how much I hated it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
but we don't really need to go down that fury road.
The thing I will tell you about that's interesting about that movie, like the one fact I know is they shot 400 hours of movie for a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
They picked the worst of that 400 hours to put on film.
The entire thing is like center focused too. Like everything's either going into the center of that movie or going out of the center of that movie.
Oh,
yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, the cinematography in that movie's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff about that movie, but
you didn't like the
movie itself is kind of.
Yeah, I'm evidently a hater because didn't like that Game of Thrones.
Star Wars. Wait, you didn't like Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
No, Game of Thrones can burn.
You didn't like Game of Thrones
I don't
either?
like it either.
Rogue One, I can appreciate the story and what they were telling, but it's a story that didn't need to be told. And a show called The Magicians. Have you heard of this? It's on Sci-Fi. It's evidently based on books, and they kind of divert from the series.
Oh,
in a way.
I don't, but my wife does. It looked okay.
It's like Harry Potter Goes to College.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Yeah, it looked... I've seen a couple episodes just kind of when I've been in the room. It looks okay.
I'm going to get a lot of haters.
Just watch Harry Potter. Right?
I love
Harry Potter.
Exactly.
See?
I don't need
Adam and I have Harry Potter. Do you like Harry Potter?
Show. Of course.
Okay.
Well, it's like you've got Doctor Who and you've got Torchwood.
Or I have neither.
Which do you prefer?
Oh, Doctor Who.
Really?
All the way. Torchwood I can appreciate, but it's not my thing because it's like Doctor Who is the bright comic fun, haha, with a little bit of, heart thrown in there for good measure. But then you've got Torchwood, which is just dark, violent, scary, bloody, adult.
That sounds way better.
I think Torchwood,
right.
like the first 2 seasons of Torchwood, are probably some of the 2 best seasons of TV ever made. I absolutely adore that
I think
show.
it's good. I would just, if I had to choose, I would watch Doctor Who.
I don't think I've heard of that.
It's really
Torchwood?
good.
Is it in the same,
Yeah, it's with Captain Jack is the...
Doctor Who? Like, is it the kind of the...
Yeah, Captain Jack heads up Torchwood.
Why are those two compared to each other?
Because Captain Jack's in Doctor Who.
Oh.
Because the Torchwood...
So they actually exist in the same universe.
Yeah, and Torchwood is a
Torchwood
thing
Institute.
within Doctor Who.
Yeah, the Torchwood Institute helps protect the world.
You need to watch more Doctor Who.
It's kind of unwatchable for me. I'm too young.
We need a new person in our podcast.
I don't know.
So, we're putting this...
It started like 6 years ago. You were 20.
Actually, it started about 50 years ago.
Well, the new stuff. 8 years ago. Whatever.
10.
You were plenty old enough.
I tried watching it.
It's so good. Anyway.
Production value.
Wow, we've gone way off. So anyway,
have you played
back to important stuff.
Actually, I have a question about your PlayStation headphones, though.
Oh, yeah.
Are they wireless?
Yes.
And so where does like something plug into your PlayStation?
Yes, so it's got a little RF, a USB RF transmitter.
That's kind of cool. I might have to get a pair of those.
Yeah, because I thought
awesome.
and so I went to a store to get them. It's called Walmart.
I've heard of Walmart.
Yes. Well, the reason I went there is because I had a couple of gift cards from family members for Christmas. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I got them. Just so you know, they're $30 cheaper on the Walmart website.
Wow.
And I don't know why, so I need to go back there and ask them why. But there is a level up from that I didn't realize called Platinum.
Ooh, which is always better than gold.
Yeah, but they're like $60 more.
Ugh.
But you like shiny.
I do, but I don't know if I like
shiny, though.
I don't like $160 shiny.
Dang. Yeah, because I don't know. I have the Xbox ones for my Xbox, and they work with my PlayStation. You just plug them into the controller. So
right.
But wireless might be kind of cool. So,
yeah, because it's got an app that you can download onto the PS4 with all these special sound modes that were designed by the actual game developers for their game.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah,
I can never decide. It kind of depends what I'm playing, but I often don't play with both headsets on anyway because there's always people in the house, and so if I have them both on, then people talk to me and I can't hear them and they get angry. So maybe it doesn't matter, but interesting.
Yeah, get them. I think they're great.
Nice.
I like them a lot.
Nice. What have you been playing, Dylan?
Other than with my emotions,
just callously.
The plot thickens. I jumped into ranked Hearthstone play this weekend, but I didn't try to go too far because it resets February 1st. So every month.
So not much is going to happen in the next day.
Yeah, but if you reach level 20, you get to open the chest for that season and get the special whatever.
Very cool.
I made it there, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah,
and then it resets and shoots you back, but you do get X number of stars to promote you to the next rank based on how far you did get.
I want to do the same thing for Rocket League and get ranked so I can get the special wheels for this season. But Dylan actually gave me we went and had pizza the other day for lunch, and he gave me
I sure didn't get an invite. That's cool.
Sorry, man. Every time I'm like, you want to get pizza? He's like, I can't eat pizza. Can you eat pizza?
Not really, but I would. If I got to hang out with you two, I would eat pizza.
Next time we go, you can come have pizza with us.
You can have a salad.
Yeah, there you
salad.
But he actually gave me an overview at lunch of how Hearthstone works. It's pretty cool.
I've played it.
Yeah, and I've never played it before. I loaded up my iPad once, didn't run, so I've never done it. But
we were spectator mode on my buddy while he was playing.
Yeah, he did real good too.
He was just killing
real
it.
Good.
He's ranked pretty high, so he's better than. He's played a lot more than I have, I should say.
It's really cool to watch though. I didn't know how you would make a card game interesting, and I mean, like visually, it's interesting.
It's
like
got enough
watching,
little flair, like
Yeah.
the interactivity of like when stuff like smashes on each other and then like
and
explosions
it looked
happen.
relatively accessible too. Like,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I could play it.
yeah, I could pick that up. So
That says a lot.
it's good people. Poor Adam.
I know.
On a similar note, on ranked Blizzard games, I started playing some ranked Overwatch because I finally made it to level 25.
Nice.
So at 25, you can play ranked, and me and my buddy did that, and we got our butts kicked.
What do you see a big difference between ranked and unranked?
I haven't played enough
Enough.
ranked, but I think there's definitely going to be a little bit more.
Just people take it more
Yeah.
seriously.
And it does match you, obviously, with people of
your level.
different ranks. So
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on ranked versus unranked games. Like it's weird because I'm super, super competitive. Like I'm very much like, second place, first loser kind of guy. Like having kids and doing sports has been real hard. No, it's just matters that you try.
No, I don't need the participation ribbon.
Exactly, right. But I mean, I've always been that person too. And yet I really, really, really dislike competitive play in video games. It literally takes all the fun.
I was
going
to say, does it take the fun out?
Yeah, I've played Rocket League competitively, and I'm not great, but I've gotten a couple of things into it. I've been mid gold ranked, which means something when I did it. I think it means something different now. But so I'm capable of doing that. But when every single win or loss, like
shoots you up or down.
Yeah, it's really like you lose a couple games in a row and you feel terrible about yourself, and then you start playing worse because you feel terrible about yourself. I'm like, when did this start? This
And then
used
you
to
get
be
matched with
fun.
garbage people.
Yeah,
and
and I think that was more it. Is I'd play because I only play with one other person, and we don't play 2-on-2. We'd get just this third person who was this random guy who was either good or bad or difficult to play with, or
doesn't play the same as you.
or they play the same as you,
They
which
play
is
differently,
also bad.
or it doesn't match the dynamic of
Yeah,
the
and
team
so
or-
that was really hard, and I find that you had a lot of people too that were just in it to. They didn't want to play the game; they just wanted to rank up, and they wanted to do it quick. So if you get down, 1 or 2, points, and there's still 4 minutes of the game left, they want to forfeit, and because you don't lose points if you forfeit, I guess. And I'm like, no, let's keep playing. We could win this game. Come on, and a lot of times they drop, so you'd end up playing 3 versus 2, and then you'd lose. I don't know. It wasn't really for me. Maybe it would be more if I had a consistent third to play with.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's always about assembling a real team.
yeah, which
right?
I wonder
And
if
that
that's the
would be
same thing with
more
Overwatch,
fun,
though.
yeah.
I mean, that's big. That's what, 6 people?
Yeah, see, that's a lot of friends to get together at one time. I don't even have that many friends.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, like.
But
You two are the most friends I have
Yeah.
right now. It's I have to pull in other people from out of state.
Poor Cliff.
I'm just I'm not very friendly. It's not that I want more friends.
yeah, but something you experience in Overwatch too, I've noticed is one thing I really like about Overwatch is it's a very objective-based game. There's no such thing as team deathmatch in Overwatch. There's no game mode that's based solely on kills, like first one
That's
to 50
true.
kills.
That's really true, yeah.
So it's all objective-based games, but you still get matched with teammates who insist on just playing a damage character and racking up the kills. It's like you got
Yeah.
46 kills, great, but
that
we
doesn't mean
lost
anything.
because you did not play
You
to
didn't
the
play to the
objective.
objective, yep.
So that's always that's just a bummer when that kind of thing happens because
Well, I think that's kind of that it's a very memeable thing about Overwatch right now. Like, hey, it's suggesting we really could be a healing character. One of you guys should really do that. You know?
it's like the game does I love that part of the game though. It's like when you're in the character select screen, it says you have no tanks, you have no damage characters, you don't have enough damage, you have too much damage, you don't have a healer. Like it's pretty explicit. Like, hey, your team comp isn't optimal right now, so
yeah.
you should fix it. But a lot of people just like stare at it.
It's such an interesting game, but it's hard to. I can see how it could be really hard to get the right team comp together and
Yeah.
figure that out. So
Yeah, and obviously there's better characters that fit better with other characters on
Yeah.
the team. So we kept getting like a couple of guys we play with. They kept selecting the same characters. Like those guys aren't working. Like,
But that's the most important part of Overwatch too, is realizing that even the character you started out on a mission with or on a level with may not be the character that gets you through that.
Right.
That depending on whether you're attacking or defending or escorting or what, the first part of an escort mission is very different than the end part of an escort mission.
Yeah.
Both on attack and defense. So.
And sometimes your character is just not working against their team either, and I don't think you should be afraid of making that swap and trying something different, because if it's not working, don't insist that it's going to later.
I'll be interested to see how competitive play works out for you if you keep playing it or if you go back to casual.
Yeah.
Especially not having a team of 6.
Yeah. If I jump on with my buddy, I'll play, but otherwise I probably will just play.
And you're playing
the
Xbox,
casual
right?
Games. Yeah. Except I'm finding I should get this on my PlayStation too, because my PlayStation's in my bedroom and my Xbox is in the living room. And I'm sitting in bed and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play Overwatch. But then you have to rank your guy back up, and you don't have the same stuff, and whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about doing that in Rocket League with you guys, because my Rocket League person's a rookie. So and my Xbox one's a level 46 expert.
You're gonna be smurfing.
So I'll be smurfing for a while. It'll be fun.
What is smurfing?
Doing that, playing down. Yeah, essentially playing. Creating another. Account or create another so you can play as a low-level character so you're real good. I've done it. This will be the second time I've done it, too, because I did it on the Xbox.
You match with Smurfs.
The funny thing is it as much fun as you'd think it would be, it's actually kind of frustrating because, sometimes you will just crazy dominate on a level, but a lot of times playing with rookies, they're so unpredictable, and they play such a different game that it doesn't always. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just you learn over time that all 3 of you going for the same ball in the corner isn't going to work.
Only one of you
needs to be there. And if one of you does get the ball, then there's just 3 of you in the corner going man, I wish someone was in the middle to put that ball in the ball. Yeah, I just passed it to the other team. That didn't work at all.
I think I'm going to pull some sweet jump, kick, flip thing, and right before I hit it, some other ass just knocks the ball out of the way.
Yep. It's like watching 4-year-olds play soccer. It's when they have those 3-on-3 soccer games.
It is literally exactly the same.
They're all chasing the ball.
I coached my kid playing soccer, and it was, and they played full field 11-on-11, and it was still just 20 kids moving in this one giant clump of kid. Yeah, it's kind of, what is it? My brother always said it was what's that video game? Katamari Democracy?
Close enough.
I don't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean. That
I don't think it's that political, but
I think it's My Katamari or something.
Katamari.
It's
I don't know, or the end of Inside. Either one.
I was going to say the end of Inside. That's what I was thinking. I'm so this just big amalgamation of things just rolling towards an inevitable death.
My brother finished Inside this weekend, and literally it's the second time it's happened to me where someone finishes Inside, they come to me what the hell?
Right.
Adam did the same thing. He's like, is that the ending? I'm I think so. I'm like, let me talk you down. We'll figure this out. The ending of Inside is what you want it to be.
That was not what I wanted it to be.
Anyway.
Anywho.
You want to hear about what I played?
I mean, if we have to.
I played games. I finished up Toby the Secret Mine, which we talked a little bit about last time, so I won't go super deep into it again. But it's that kind of Inside-esque, Limbo-esque game. And ultimately, I gave that a pretty good review score on our website. I said to buy it. It's $10. It's not perfect, but it's $10. And
it's $10, yeah.
It's really, really pretty. It's really pretty. I was kind of looking at screenshots of it and kind of flipping through my videos that I made of it. And it's gorgeous. The colors are great. The level design's good. The puzzles are good. But, overall, if you just want a game to kind of, if you don't want to play Limbo again, but you want to play something like it,
right?
No reason not to pay $10 and roll through that on a Saturday. It's 3 hours a game. The only kind of problem with it is...
Game's only 3 hours?
Yeah, 3.5. It's not bad. The only problem with it right now is that on the 17th level, there is kind of a game-breaking bug, but you can get past it. But there's just a part where if you die, the game kind of locks up and freezes. But it took me 3 times to get past it, and then you can move past that. But it's fun, It's got a decent story. It's got really good platforming mechanics. My biggest complaint was the puzzles, but besides that, I think it's one to pick up if you're into that kind of thing. So that was good. So then I started a game called She Remembered Caterpillars, which is maybe the strangest named game I've ever played. But it's a fun puzzle game. It reminds me. I don't know did you either of you guys ever play Elo Milo? It was you probably didn't. It was an Xbox 360 game.
No.
Kind of a similar idea where you play. It's an interesting game because it's a kind of a simple puzzle game with kind of a heavy story behind it, where the story is actually a woman and her dad is dying, and the entire thing is presented through these puzzles.
What's the game called?
It's called She Remembered Caterpillars. And what it is you play as these little teeny colored critters, and they can only, so like when you start out, you get a red one and a blue one, and they can walk over bridges of their same color, and they can walk through gates of the opposite color. So a red one can walk over red bridges but can't walk through a red gate, and the blue one can do the opposite. And each level, you're just trying to get them from where they start to these little like pillows that they then fall asleep on.
It's so cute.
It's beautiful hand-drawn graphics. I mean, it's gorgeous, and the music's terrific. And it starts out, so I played it for maybe a half hour, 40 minutes yesterday, and got through the first, I think there's 48 levels total, and I got through the first, I'm going to say 15, 16, 18 of them, like super easy, and then the difficulty just ramps. And so they add in where you can actually combine the two of them, so then you have a purple one, so you can take one of your critters and like dive into the other one, and so if you mix red and blue, they become the purple ones, and so then the purple ones can walk over purple bridges or red bridges or blue bridges because they contain all three of them. What about
bow bridges?
Maybe. That's probably in the second set of levels, but then like a purple one can't walk. It was good. He didn't even get it.
I know. He's like, who's Bow Bridges?
Who's Bow Bridges?
Jeff Bridges. Okay.
Whatever.
Well, I know Jeff Bridges.
See, at least he knows Jeff Bridges. But then, like, the purple one can't walk through a red or a blue gate because they contain red or blue. So it adds this whole thing, but then they add an orange color, and, like, their difficulty, like, just cranks real hard. So I think, as far as I can get without help. So I'm going to enlist my wife, who's way better at those things. We're going to play through the last of it together. But it's just pretty. I mean, you get frustrated at it because you're like, I know there's a way to do this. Because you look at it, there's a limited possibilities as to where each one of those little critters can go. So you know that the red one has to go here, the blue one has to go here, and this other red one has to go over here. But it's figuring out the right set of steps to get them where they need to go. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's just hard enough to make it interesting, but it's pretty and it's fun to look at. And like I said, the story's a little deep, but it kind of adds kind of another level to a kind of complex game. So I'm excited to keep trying that one.
What else you playing?
I played some more of a story about my uncle. We talked about that last week. It's that kind of energy flying game. And really, I just wanted to try another half hour of that and make sure the mechanic didn't get boring before I recommended it to people. And I played another half hour and it didn't. And it kind of kicks in like a story. Like a lot of it first is just like jumping from thing to thing. And then you get about an hour in and all of a sudden you like land at this village and there's all these weird little salamander people that you talk to, and they help you find your uncle. And my biggest complaint about it is it's hard. Like a lot of the jumps are, you'll try it and you're like, I know I can make this jump to this next island, and then you miss, and you're like, I know I can make the jump to the next island, and you miss, and then the third time it feels like you did it the exact same way and you make it. So like the platforming's a little wonky, but that could just be me too. But I'm having a lot of fun with that one. And then finally I broke down yesterday and bought Owlboy because it was on sale. And
I keep seeing that. I kept seeing that.
You know, it's one of those, it was on Steam over the weekend for like $15 or $16. I'm like, I'm going to pick that up. And then the Steam sale ended Saturday night. I'm like, crap, I forgot. And then like, it was on sale Humble Bundle for the same price. So
nice.
I picked it up on Humble for $15. And like, if you are having any... If you ever think like, man, I wish I could play a Super Nintendo game, but I don't want to dig out a Super Nintendo, just go buy Owlboy because it's just stunning, but it feels like a modern Super Nintendo game. So, I mean, it looks beautiful pixel graphics. Everything's hand-drawn. These guys spent 9 or 10 years making this game. Like, literally, yeah.
A lot of time.
And it came out a couple months ago, and it's just beautiful, and it feels terrific, and the mechanics of it are great, but it feels modern too. Like it doesn't feel like, you pick up a Super Nintendo game sometimes and go like,
you can tell,
oh, this is good, but it's a Super Nintendo game. I can feel this. This game doesn't feel that way. It feels like it looks like a Super Nintendo game, but with like modern controls and just kind of an interesting story. You play this kind of owl guardian. You're not actually an owl, I don't think. You're a person.
Are you an owl boy?
You're an owl boy, and you're like the guardian of this town, but you're also mute, so you can't talk, and so people that people make fun of you because of this, and so you've got this kind of sad, and the guy who's training you to be these kind of owl guardians for the town is kind of mean and says horrible things about you, and it's the game starts out as kind of like you're like, I feel real bad for this dude,
right?
But then you've got this buddy who lives in the town, and so your character can't shoot, but you can shoot by picking up your friend and carrying him around, and he's got a gun. And so you kind of, like I said, I only played like a half hour, but you start out at this kind of adventure, and it's really fun. The mechanics are great, and it looks great. So that's another one that I'm very excited about playing more of. So that's it. I didn't play a ton this week.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know about that Owlboy because I kept seeing it.
It's great. I buy it. No one has said bad things about that game. So
okay.
It's good.
Nice. So tell me about this, because I've heard of the movie. But I've never seen the movie.
So you're familiar with it, though?
I think so.
Apocalypse Now. And
wait, is that the one with the bridge that blows up? No.
There probably is
no,
a
that's Bridge over River
Kwai.
That's sorry,
different.
that's yeah.
So this is the one that starts out
with that bridge name in it.
Yeah, sorry.
This is the one that starts out, Charlie Don't Surf. They, with the helicopters and the Flight of the Valkyries, but ultimately it's Marlon Brando, correct?
Correct.
And
Marlon Brando is the
bad guy.
He's the guy that they're trying to go find.
Yeah, and then
the
president from the West Wing. Yeah, Martin Sheen.
So Martin Sheen plays Captain Willard, and he's on a task to go find Colonel Kurtz in the depths of
the jungle in Vietnam. And so essentially he's kind of instilled himself as essentially kind of almost a warlord within.
Yeah, he's kind of just like
he's gone way off the rails
to madness, but that's juxtaposed with like the journey to get there and how you kind of become that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and Apocalypse Now is one of those many, many, many books that is at least loosely based off Heart of Darkness. So, Lord of the Flies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway.
I mean, I know the movie.
Did you go to high school English?
I did. Was Red Badge of Courage. Red Badge of Courage.
That was not like that.
I read that.
War.
Essentially,
That's
Lord of the Flies.
Civil War?
I think so, yeah.
The
different war.
I went to school high school in Missouri.
Never mind, yeah.
Yeah, we were a little bit behind a lot of just about everywhere.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, the idea of all those books being that people left in a lawless environment will themselves become lawless,
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so, and that's kind of what the overall plot of this movie and all those books are. But so this video game is.
So they're kickstarting an Apocalypse Now video game, which Francis Ford Coppola is a part of, and he
directed the movie.
Yeah, so he is one of the greatest film auteurs, arguably of all time. But he's actually attached to this project, and he's teamed up with a bunch of game makers from
Obsidian,
Fallout,
devs.
Far Cry. Yeah. I mean, all these big games we love, but all these guys are getting together and trying to raise $900,000 to make a first-person survival horror game with strong role-playing elements. So you play as Captain Willard. You get your mission in your hotel. You're going to go find Colonel Kurtz, and how you get there is up to you.
Yeah. But what I think is most interesting about the game is that they're making a very, 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 very big deal that this is not a shooter. Like, you are not going to be Far Crying or Fallouting your way through this movie. That it's going to be
with this game.
It's going to game, whatever. But that it's going to be very survival based. That it's going to be very like big role playing elements. But like a lot of the game sounds like, I mean, it almost has the feeling of like a Telltale game.
Yeah,
it's going to be
kind of thought
lots
heavy
of decision
rain
trees. Yeah, heavy
when you're
rain.
playing through this, so you're going to make these big choices, and they're going to impact how that story ends. So who lives, who dies.
And the role-playing stuff seems to kind of fit into it from the standpoint of you, based on the level of your character and things like, I mean, I don't know, but you've got to assume, based on a role-playing game, intelligence and persuasion, all those things, that different conversations will be available to you based on the level of your character. Yeah. So you in a situation, you may try and convince someone of something, and they may not. You may not be able to because your level isn't high enough, or you may not even have that option. So, I mean, it sounds very, very ambitious. They say they've got some kind of playable stuff, and they have a video, and it looks good. I will honestly say my guess is that this game will not fund.
Really? Well, here's my question, though. Why take it to Kickstarter when it's $1 million, which, don't get me wrong, $1 million to me, it's whatever, but $1 million to Francis Ford. I mean, $1 million, but no, $1 million to me, I don't mean it's whatever. I mean, it's like, whatever, that's $1 million. I mean, that would be great for me to have, and I would never work again. Maybe. But Francis Ford Coppola's got that in his pocket.
Yeah, what they said, well, and I
Why
mean,
can't he just give it to him and see what happens?
That's a legit question, and it's one of those things that, that comes up all the time. Like, Zach Braff made a movie, and they're like, come on, Zach Braff, do you really need to kickstart things?
It was the follow-up to Garden State?
I think so, yeah.
The pseudo-sequel-ish, yeah.
And so, that's a legit question, but also, does Francis Ford Coppola have $1 million liquid dollars to play with,
he does.
Probably. But, there's also
his
something to be
does.
said for one person paying for other people's stuff. So the reason they said they went to Kickstarter as opposed to a publisher is they don't believe that a regular publisher would let them make the game they want to make. They don't want to make a shooter, and they think that they went to Ubisoft or they went to whatever, they would make them make the game they want to make. So, my guess, frankly, $1 million for a video game is nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So my
that's
assumption
cheap.
is that it's $1 million to get it kind of going, and they're going to have to get money from other places because like $1 million sounds like a huge amount of money, but there are mobile games these days that cost $1 million to make. So I can't. But I think even more to that point is I don't think they're going to make it. They've got 24 days left, but they've only gotten $125,000.
That sucks.
And you look at any Kickstarter campaign and the money you make in the first day or two and the money you make in the last day or two are where you make money. And I don't think they've made enough yet to make it in the next 24 days. And this has got buzz too. I've read about it a couple different places. So
it's totally the game I want to play.
It sounds super fun. I can 100% get behind this idea, and it looks like it has the right pedigree, but it could honestly just be that kind of thing too, where Apocalypse Now is a movie that came out 40 years ago.
God, 40 years ago.
Right? Isn't that weird? It must have came out
the
year we were born or the year before we were born.
37,
yeah.
38. Sorry, 38.
And so...
Long time ago. And so, our generation's too old to, that kind of prime gaming generation, people that are in their 35 to 40 that were kind of original gamers. The movie, you've probably seen it, but you may not super identify with it. You probably saw it 15, 20 years after it came out. Dylan's generation of gamers is way too young to really appreciate it. It may just have kind of hit this weird generational thing where, I'm not saying it's a movie that people don't love. I'm not saying it's not a classic. Right. And there are a lot of people that like it, but I wonder if the kind of the Venn diagram of people that are the right age to like it and gamers just don't mix. And the games, people really, really, really like Call of Duty and Modern Warfare and games where you get to shoot a bunch of stuff, and maybe the idea of a Heavy Rain-esque dialogue heavy shooter doesn't appeal to him. So I don't know. Sounds interesting though. Speaking of shooters, though, the Overwatch Chinese New Year event.
Yes,
that sounds like fun. I didn't realize that was I know that the developers and stuff for these constantly updated games and always going kind of things. They always have new little bits that they drop in there, but that's kind of a cool one. It's
an interesting one, right? And I didn't play it, but Dylan did.
It's a lot of fun. So there's a lot of fireworks and fun Chinese New Year looking stuff. Because it is the year of the rooster too.
Yes.
That's usually not how I put it, but yeah.
Yeah, we could say it differently, but
don't.
So cool skins for the characters, and this goes on until mid-February.
Oh, so it's still running.
So yeah, get on there, play Overwatch, get your loot boxes, hopefully get some cool skins, or spend your credits.
I need to get I need to get this effing game.
Yeah.
Right. So now, does it work the same way? And again, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go back to Rocket League because it's the only game I play, apparently. But do loot boxes work the same way where you get a loot box after winning and then you can pay $1 or whatever to unlock them?
Basically, yeah. The system's a little, not exactly that, but I think it's $2.
Pay to unlock it?
You can. So if you want the skins and all the stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with how the game performs, you can spend money or you can earn them through playing the game.
Okay. So you can earn them through playing the game.
I think every 3 wins or something like that, you get. I actually don't pay that much attention because I'm not that kind of person. Some of these Chinese New Year skins are really cool, and if I stumble upon one, there's a couple skins that I look through and I'm happy. And I've got a couple cool skins from loot boxes, but I haven't spent.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I have 50 Rocket League crates right now because I just don't care.
Yeah.
And you can't. And Rocket League's different. You have to pay to open them, so it's just not.
Yeah, you do. And then,
and they're
for example,
random too. So like you could very easily get correct me if I'm wrong, but you could get a skin for a character you don't play too, right? Or do you get
absolutely. Yeah. I have really cool skins for characters I don't play. So that there has its, but at the same time, it doesn't affect how you do it in the game.
But I mean, it's a cool. I mean, I like it for a lot of different reasons. I like that idea just because it keeps pushing money into games that I love. And so, I mean, if someone's willing to spend hundreds of dollars on stupid crate keys, like, great. It has no impact. And I mean, some of them are really cool. I've seen, like, the Overwatch Christmas stuff was great. I've seen some of the Chinese New Year's one. They're also great.
Yeah.
Same with Rocket League. There's every once in a while I'll play against someone like, dude, that guy's car is pimp. I mean, and in Rocket League, it's the only word you can use because they're, like, animated. I mean, you know. And so it's super fun, but it's not for me.
Yeah,
I play with a super boring car.
And maybe I'll put some money into it one day because I want to support the game more. Because I do really enjoy this game, and I have probably only played it for about 20 hours. Yeah. And I want to play it more now that my life's allowing me to do that. Yeah. So,
and I mean, I think that's just important. Like supporting games you like. And like I said, I don't buy crates, but I buy a lot of the expansion stuff. You know, and it's cool to have a game that. I mean, I've got 250, 300 hours of time into Rocket League, and that's, you know, for an initial $20 investment, that's not bad. You know?
True.
And again, Overwatch isn't charging me for new characters. Yeah. Like they've put out a couple new characters, and I haven't had to buy those. Those
maps,
are just part of the game.
Yeah,
so everything you're purchasing is cosmetic if you want to. But back to the event a little bit. And this is cool too. So if you go play Overwatch right now and you do they have Capture the Rooster right now. So Capture the Flag was never a game mode in Overwatch. So, but for example, if you go play Capture the Rooster and you win your first Capture the Rooster game, you will get a Chinese New Year loot box.
Very nice.
So fireworks will shoot out and you'll get
how does Overwatch work as a Capture the Flag game?
It works really well, and it's funny. I watched a behind-the-scenes video on how they did this, and it was a very complicated game to do as Capture the Flag because your heroes have these really cool powers, and they tried it originally first where there's a flag, go get it, bring it back, right? And then you have characters like Tracer who blinks, right? Yeah. So she kind of like dashes forward.
It disappears, yeah.
Oh, I know what a blink is.
So
I know
she
blink.
Triple blinks in, grabs the flag, rewinds, whoop, back. She's back. She's captured the flag. The team didn't even see her, right?
That's hard.
So, okay, how do we do this? And then you have Winston, the big gorilla that leaps, right? Okay, he's pretty fast, too. And then you have Reaper, who
can also
becomes ethereal for a second, I guess, and moves around and becomes invulnerable. What's her name that can
go invisible?
So you have all these. How do you Capture the Flag when there's characters like that, and then there's literally characters that just walk?
Yeah.
Are you only going to play these characters? Is that going to work? Is that really imbalanced? And so they thought, okay, once you grab the flag and you use one of those powers, you drop the flag.
Oh.
Okay, so is that smart? But they play tested that. And that's not really fun because now your characters aren't as cool as they are, right? You want to be these big, cool Overwatch characters, right?
I'm really excited with what's going to happen.
This big gorilla that jumps and he drops the flag.
I want to know.
Why can't he carry the flag? That's dumb, right?
So what did they do? I'm very excited to know.
Now we
go play and find out.
No.
They basically allowed the characters to be themselves, but they did put a small capture timer on the flag.
Oh, sure.
So there is one central flag. Or no, there's not one central flag.
Each team
has a flag, and there's a short capture timer. So you do have to sit around the flag, and the flag's clear.
Oh.
You pick up the flag, and then...
So it's almost like a mix of Capture the Flag and King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then the capture timer is real short, but it is enough that you can't just blink in and rewind, and it really breaks the game.
I mean, when you think about a game like TFC that has spent who knows how long balancing characters, and they only have 5, and getting that balance right, like it's in Team Fortress Classic.
Oh, okay.
It's impressive that, or TF2, I suppose, is probably the more up-to-date version, but anyway. It's a Valve game that was based kind of off the Half-Life engine, where that's just all it is kind of capture the flag-esque games. It's very cool.
Oh, okay.
But when you only have 5 classes, that was a hard game to balance, and so I can imagine when you've got 20-odd different characters that makes it very
real
difficult. That's
difficult.
smart. That's real smart.
And they also tried things like you would have to have your flag to capture their flag, right? Because you've played capture the flag games like that. Like, you can't, if both teams have the flag, you can't score until you retrieve your flag.
Oh,
so
interesting.
They tried all these different things, but they basically came down to there's a small capture timer. You grab the flag, you bring it back, you score. And I did play it quite a bit, and it does seem to work pretty well. Because usually you have these big team fights.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how Overwatch works. You have these big team fights.
Yeah.
You're able to knock enough of the other team out that you can proceed with the objective, and that's kind of how it works. It's not perfect, but it is not.
But at the same time, it goes up for a month and goes away.
Yeah.
Well, and that was going to be my next question. Do you think, since they didn't have that type of game before in Overwatch, now that they've done it this way, and it's kind of like they're like, hey, what do you think? Do you think it's something they're going to keep around? Not in a competitive way, obviously, because it's so imbalanced, but just as a fun kind of distraction.
And so far, they haven't, right? Because Lucio Ball went away and Snowball Fight went away,
I think they decided they're going to keep it in the arcade section of Overwatch, so it will not be a competitive mode. That could change someday. They might figure out a way to make it a competitive mode, but it sounds like they will keep it and it will live in the arcade.
I wish they'd bring back. I never got a chance to play Lucio Ball, and I always wanted to. It's like everyone describes it as Rocket League inside of Overwatch. So I don't know much about it, but it sounds real fun.
Either, but
nice.
So I'd like to try that, but it'd be interesting if they brought those back in the arcade. So cool.
And how long did you say it goes till mid-February?
I think mid-February. Cool. So there's a bit of time to explore. And like, for example, the Hanzo character, who is one of the sniper characters with the bow, and his ultimate ability, he shoots this big like twin dragon blast that goes across the map. Right. So for Year of the Rooster, what do you think he shoots?
Giant blue whale.
Yes, 2 whales shoots.
Who would have thunk?
So if you get the cool Hanzo skin, he has a cool little
cool
variation on what his character does. So it's fun stuff like that. And
nice.
So what is we talked about it when we first started today's podcast that EVO this blah 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 blah. What is that?
It's extra virgin olive oil.
That's EVO.
Oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom during this part then.
Why?
Because I have no idea anything about any of these games, but apparently they're fighting games.
You don't know any of these games?
I know of them, but that's about...
Wait, have you played any of these games other than the Super Smash Bros?
No, so I guess to kick it off, this is...
So EVO 2017 was announced, which is the big fighting game tournament.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense to me.
Street Fighter V, Guilty Gear...
Guilty Gear?
Well, let's call it Guilty Gear.
How do you pronounce
Zerd?
I don't know.
Exerd.
Maybe that's Tenard. Like
Tenard.
Because like second or third.
Sure.
It's the RD on third, but it's an X, so it's 10.
Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Melee, Injustice 2.
Injustice games are great.
Blaz Blue, Central Fiction, Tekken 7, and the King of Fighters
14.
Is it? Okay, 14. I was going to say 24.
I've played... So, here's the thing. Like,
I've played
none of these. I've played Street Fighter, both Smash Bros. Games, Injustice, Tekken,
That
and
is
King
Injustice
of Fighters.
2, which isn't out yet.
Yeah, I was going to say...
I played Injustice. I played
March?
Injustice.
Yeah, I think March, but there is a beta, so people are play testing it right now. There is
I've not played Injustice 2.
Yeah, my brother beat Injustice this weekend, said it was real fun.
I love that game.
Yeah, I said on easy mode, it's a fun game just to cruise through and play the story.
And when I started playing Injustice, and that was the game I'm like, I'm going to kind of learn this fighting system, and I did, and it was fun, and I still got my butt kicked a lot. But I loved that game.
I'm actually really disappointed that I've never played either of the Smash Brothers games, just because they look super fun.
Super fun.
I don't know how I've missed them, but I've missed them. Right?
And I suck at both of them. Like Melee was Melee the one on the GameCube? Okay, so Melee I sucked at. But the original one on the N64,
oh yeah,
I mopped the floor on that game. But these two in particular, I'm terrible. Terrible.
But playing Injustice was I actually watched a little bit of the EVO from the past couple of years when they were on. It's amazing how good these people are.
Is it? So I assume it's just like a competitive bracket in each of these games?
Yep, in each of these games.
Do you have to like come put your quarter on the screen?
Yep.
Very old.
But It's just if it'll be on in July, you can watch
Twitch
streaming.
streams.
I mean, if you go to your favorite gaming websites, I'm sure they'll have links to all the streams. So
I'm kind of interested in this. Like, I'm not a big fighting game person. I used to be. Like when I was a kid, I was big.
Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo. When that came out on the Super Nintendo, I thought that my world had just gotten the best it was ever going to get in my entire life, and I would never ever find anything more glorious than Street Fighter 2 on a Super Nintendo.
Oh, and there was nothing cooler too. Like, I mean, I kid about like putting your quarters on the screen, but there was nothing cooler than going to an arcade and like I got next, and then staying there for 20 minutes while you beat every single person that, just frustrating. Be like some dude next to you's pumped $5 in quarters in, and you're just killing him over and over again. And I was never a great Street Fighter 2 guy, but I was good enough. I was a big Virtua Fighter guy, but
which I'm surprised I don't like. Virtua Fighter is still a thing.
I don't think it is it?
No, yeah.
I mean, I saw there's a Virtua. I had no like. I played 1 and 2, and apparently there's up to 5 now. So But I think it'd be cool that, like, it's anytime you get to watch people at the top of their field play a game, and especially a game that, like, I understand. Like, I really, as much as I want to enjoy watching Dota tournaments and watching, League of Legends tournaments, like, that game is so dense that I can watch it and go, like, ooh, it's real pretty. And I've watched it in crowds at, like, PAX, and I'm watching, I'm like, this is cool. And then everyone will go, ooh, and I'm like, what happened? I have no idea what happened. Like,
wait, is Dota that complex?
Oh, yeah.
See, I watched Kevin when we first started dating. He was playing that, and I didn't know what he was doing because all he was doing was just clicking his mouse around the screen. I'm like,
what's happening?
It all comes down to itemization, like. And again, looking at your opponent's team comp, looking at your team comp.
But do
they have magic damage? Do they have attack damage?
And lanes.
And then, so you have to build magic resistance or physical damage resistance. And
it's a game, it's too much.
Right, and that's what I said too.
My brain's going to pop.
I love that. I'm totally into that.
Whenever I hear about, like, and the top Dota player in the world just retired at 23 because he's just not good enough anymore, I'm like,
he's not fast enough,
there's just not enough, like, what do they give kids on ADD?
Ritalin.
There's not enough Ritalin.
Adderall.
Yeah, get me fast enough to be competitive that game. So they're just too complicated, but they look fun. But like fighting games, I can understand. I can watch two people play a fighting game and be like, wow, he's real good.
However, I'm going to echo back to when I was kind of watching. It was a couple years ago.
Sure.
I think it was kind of the first time Injustice was that first year, maybe. But Injustice, pretty easy to follow that game.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
But when they played Marvel versus Capcom 3 or whatever, that game is bananas. Like, there's just like lasers going. I'm like, what's going on? I don't even understand.
That's crazy.
What's happening?
The first time I saw that was at a barcade in Portland called crap, I can't remember the name of it.
You had me at Barcade. This sounds like the most
it's
amazing idea ever.
Have you ever been to a barcade?
No.
I went to what's the one in Portland?
I mean, I've been to GameWorks. You can
Ground
there.
Zero.
Ground Zero. Yeah. Ground Zero.
Ground Zero. I didn't realize it was a
Ground
barcade.
Zero. But I had never seen the Marvel vs. Capcom game, and I saw this, and I'm like, what?
You will not follow it.
No,
and
you won't, because
Smash Bros is pretty crazy too.
When Smash Bros is, correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously I'm dumb, but Smash Bros is like multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
However, in this atmosphere, it will be 1v1.
Oh, that's
1v1.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, Smash Bros on Wii U, I think, is 10 player.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean that's kind of crazy. Again, you put
ridiculous.
2 people, it's a little more manageable. But there's like if you play Smash Bros. And you watch competitive people play Smash Bros. It's a whole different game. Yeah. It's kind of like they're playing a fighting, like the really intricate fighting games.
I think that's true about any competitive level stuff, though. Like I'm like, I'm pretty good at this game. And then you watch someone else play,
you're like, nope.
I'm not that.
These
good.
people are next level.
I'm gonna go cry in a corner now.
Right.
But what I thought was kind of to mention this real quick, there was 8 games for EVO, and then right now they're letting the population decide the 9th game. So they're Indiegogo funding, they're raising money. So whoever raises the most money, that's the 9th game that will be included.
What does that money go to? Do you know?
I'm sure just them
to EVO 17.
Maybe setting up a bracket and paying the people who win that.
Oh, sure.
And right now, Pokken Tournament.
The
Pokemon Tekken.
I was going to ask where that's at, because we got it for our Wii U, and have either of you played that?
I haven't played that yet.
If you recall, when we talked about it last time, I couldn't even pronounce it correctly. Pokemon.
It's crazy.
I want to play that. I haven't played it yet.
I've got it. We should play it.
We should totally play.
It's
those fighting games are the funnest couch Like the funnest game is to sit on your couch and play with buds, rather than getting smashed on the internet against people who sit there and do that all day.
Like we've had people over and we've got Mortal Kombat. What is it? X.
Yeah,
whatever the
X
big
or
bloody,
XL or
whatever with the X-ray things and the bones and the skulls and the cracking and the stuff. And it's whenever we have people over, that's 9 times out of 10 if we fire up a game system, it's our PS4 to play that.
Yeah,
and it's great.
Fun.
I booted up, so I got my RetroPie working over Christmas, and I booted up Mortal Kombat because I'm like, hey kid, look like
how realistic it was 20 years ago.
And I like booted up, and I'm playing. I'm like, first of all, I don't remember anything in this game. They're like, finish him. I'm like, I sure would like to. It's like, go punch him and he dies.
One
I'm like,
right hook.
If you knew what you were doing, I could have ripped his spine out through his head. But
you finished like a guy on the Wii boxing. Like,
how old's your kid?
9.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, 9-year-old kid, watch me rip this guy's head off.
You know who should win the EVO voting thing is Nidhogg. Nidhogg is the greatest fighting game ever. I can't believe that is not the one that is winning.
But the 2 games that are in the lead right now are Pokken Tournament at like $11,000, I think, and then Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is at like $15,000. So
man,
Nidhogg has 55, but it's where I'm going to put my money.
Yeah.
Did you just okay?
But I thought that was kind of interesting.
It does imply that this is for charity, too. So it's not just like going to line the pockets of the EVO people. It looks like they're actually giving money away. So
if you're into fighting games, let's check out EVO in July. I'm excited for Injustice 2.
Windjammers is one of the options.
Going to play that. But I thought an interesting question I kind of wanted to pose to you guys.
Just to make a wish. Sorry.
None of us are big fighting game fans. Or maybe we are, but we're not that good at them.
I used to be a fighting game fan.
But up until last year, Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube was the competitive Super Smash Bros.
I remember that. I want to say that we mentioned that
briefly.
Well, we talked about it just because they're having to keep like GameCubes alive in order to play this game, which is crazy.
And there was a Smash Bros. On the Wii, which was not really adopted for competitive play. Now both...
Was there a Smash Bros. On the original Wii?
Yeah.
I thought it's...
Super Smash Bros. Melee. Or not Melee, but Brawl. Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Oh.
Which I enjoyed, but it was not adopted for competitive play. And we kept GameCubes around, I guess, to play Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Well, what system was it that the Smash Bros. Game skipped a system?
So, Smash Bros. On N64. Melee on GameCube. Brawl on Wii, and we have Super Smash Bros. Wii U. So
I thought it
we've had a Smash Bros. On every system. But my question kind of is I mean,
not really.
Why wasn't Smash Bros. Brawl adopted for competitive play? And maybe it was because of the Wii's funky controls. But at the same time, like, as players, like, is there a service to adopt the new games to, like, be supportive of that? Or should we just keep playing the old GameCube game because we can? And this kind of seems like Nintendo's thing because we keep rehashing these old games instead of looking for new Nintendo stuff.
Well, I kind of wonder too. Like, I mean, if you would think any of them were going to catch, it would be the one on the Wii because, I mean, Jesus, they sold like what 1 billion of those things,
right?
And I mean. It's really strange to me that it wouldn't, especially in the face of having to keep aging hardware around in order to make something work. I mean, it just literally does not make sense to me why even if you'd think that even if people weren't going to push it forward, tournament organizers would be like, okay, guys, like, why aren't we moving forward?
Well,
and I mean, they sold well. They come out on every system, and people just cry for more of them. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
And I'm sure this came down to kind of like balance issues within the game because Smash Bros. Brawl had a lot of characters. And I know there was certain things you could do in the Smash Bros. Game that were literally like unbeatable. You could do these. I think the Ice Climbers could do this. I can't remember what it was called. It has a goofy name. But they could do this little combination, and you literally could not escape it, and you would just lose. So that was like banned from. You could not do that in tournament play or whatever. So I understand if there's issues like that, why you wouldn't adopt this game.
So I mean, maybe it's just even a function of Nintendo putting out games more for players and not for tournaments. I mean, I think that's one thing you're seeing these days is a lot of games coming out with esports in mind. Like, we're putting out, I mean, how often do you even read about someone that hasn't put out a game yet, but they're like, this is an esports focused game?
Right.
Because, I mean, there's a huge amount of money to be made if your game can become a successful esport.
Absolutely.
So maybe it was just a function of Nintendo not making that choice, which, I mean, is something they did kind of do with Splatoon. Like, that was a game that was, and I don't think it's really taken off hugely, but I mean, that is a game with an esports following. So maybe it's just a function of them not positioning it correctly too. So you might be right. It might be a Nintendo problem, not a player problem.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel kind of, it was my responsibility to, when they have a new game, like, I want to adopt that and push that up above the old game.
How different are they from, like, a control perspective? I mean, is it really maybe just at this point people have...
Well, if you remember the Wii, you could plug...
Oh,
no,
okay.
you remember your physical Wii?
Yeah,
you could flip the top compartment and plug a GameCube controller in.
Yeah,
you could play.
I forgot about that.
The new Super Smash Bros. With a GameCube controller, which a lot of people did.
Yeah, and they re-released like GameCube compatible or controllers that were compatible with the Wii U.
Yeah.
With the GameCube.
So people are still playing Smash Bros. With a GameCube controller.
And they came out with a separate controller for the Pokken Tournament. It's the Pokken Tournament controller, and it's set up in a different way, specifically for that game. So, but the question I've got is, do you think Smash Bros. Melee is still competitive, or up till last year was still competitive, simply because of a nostalgia, quirky kind of, hey, look how cool we are factor?
Or is it just that, I mean, these people have, I mean, if you...
Because Nintendo's not, I guarantee you, Nintendo's not pushing any money into that tournament or pumping any kind of anything into it. And it's just people that are like, look how weird we are.
I would love to know the makeup of people that play that competitively, whether it's people that have been playing that competitively for 15 years and now are just to the point where, like, I can't move on to anything else because I'm just so good at this game. It would be dumb for me to. Like, I've invested tens of thousands of hours into becoming a, competitive player on this exact game, and that doesn't transfer enough to the next one for me to maintain my, like, I can make money being playing in tournaments on this version of it, but it's not necessarily either there aren't enough tournaments on the new version for me to switch, it's maybe a chicken and the egg kind of thing, or it's just, I've already invested so much time and money in this that it's silly for me to switch. So I don't know. It's an interesting idea. And it's such a strange thing to me that there is competitive, Smash Bros. Leagues.
It just felt so Nintendo to me because, for example, we're getting Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. We're not getting Super Mario Kart 9. We're just...
Do you think we will, though? Like, I kind of wonder if this is just that we need more launch titles, and so we're rehashing this one.
But to me, it's so easy to make Mario Kart 9. Like, why couldn't it?
But isn't? I mean, man, that game sells well because it's so polished. Like, I wonder if it's... And I mean, you saw this a lot at the first of, like, the current console generation, where a bunch of games that came out on the Xbox 360 or the PS3 got just instantly remastered, up-resed a little bit, and dropped on the Xbox One and the PS4. And so I wonder if it's more that, like, hey, maybe you haven't noticed, but there's only 4 launch games. We could really use another one. Although one of those launch games is going to be World of Goo. I think we're all very excited about that.
Yeah, World of Goo's fun.
If you haven't played it, it's real fun.
No.
It's real fun.
But not to spend so much time on the Switch, but it's not like the Switch was going to be a surprise for Nintendo.
That's true. I mean, I guess they did manage to make a Zelda game. They took
the time to create a whole new system that does really funky, switchy stuff, but they couldn't make a new Mario Kart game.
I wonder if it's just resources, though. Resources are finite regardless of anything.
Or maybe Mario Kart 8 was just so good.
How do you make a 9?
Well, there's that, but since the Wii U didn't sell all that well, and it didn't reach that much of an audience.
No one's played it yet.
Yeah, nobody's really played it. So it's still kind of a new game.
So far.
Still kind of new.
The most amount of people that could have played this game is 13 million people, and there's 350 million people in the United States.
So how about they just
untapped market?
All the Wii U games out on the Nintendo Switch?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll be very interested
if it moves
to see
consoles.
what their...
Because there's a bunch of great games. No one played them.
A lot of great
I'll be
games.
very interested to see what their backwards compatibility-esque idea is, what's going to end up on the Virtual Store and whether the Switch can push Wii U games. I mean, because that's... Like, getting that to work is hard. Like, it's not just a matter of pushing them out. It's a matter of getting an emulator that can run on the Switch that is powerful enough to emulate a game. So
And the Switch is going to be cartridge-based, too, isn't it?
Yeah. But that'll be fine. I mean, they'd just be downloadable. But it should be an easy thing to do, and on some platforms it's easier than others. But even like Xbox 360 to Xbox One, which have very, very, very similar architecture, it was not an easy thing to do. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting, right? So,
yes.
Are you ready to scare the crap out of Adam? Because I'm really ready to scare the crap out of Adam.
I am so easily scared, and I love scary things.
And I bet you Adam shrieks, and I bet you it's amazing.
That's what I'm just thinking. Like, he's like, it's got to be like 4 octaves above Rob Halford.
Like I hit a certain pitch, and like garage doors start opening.
Yeah. His dog's just like,
yeah, my dog's
the whole neighborhood starts barking.
So this weekend, Adam bought Resident Evil 7.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't downloaded it or installed it or anything. The only thing I know about it is the demo that I downloaded when I got my PSVR.
I'm so excited about this. And this week sometime, we are going to all troop over to Adam's house. And Adam, in addition to Resident Evil 7, also has Resident Evil 7 plays on a PSVR, which Adam also has. That was a real roundabout sentence to get to where I'm going.
Yes. But you followed.
But we followed. And we're gonna hook Adam up into his can't see the outside world and can only see this haunted plantation, and he's going to play some Resident Evil 7, and we're going to figure out how to record it and record him, and it's going to be so much fun. And I don't know if this is going to end up being a video or if it's going to be on live on YouTube.
We should just do it all.
It's going to be amazing. We'll
figure it out.
It's like I said, there's some technology stuff to figure out, but I'll have that figured out by the end of the week, and it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for it. And frankly, like I'm kind of excited because I want to see Resident Evil 7. But I sure as hell don't want to play Resident Evil 7.
I really want to play it, but I want to kind of know if it's good before I buy it.
Yeah, I've heard that the first like 2 or 3 hours are phenomenal, and then after that we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm extremely excited to watch.
I bought it based off of the demo and the fact y'all want to record me doing this VR thing. Like I've read one review and it was stellar.
Yeah. So I think people have just had like I've heard both sides of things. So I think a game like Resident Evil 7. It probably kind of depends on what you want out of it too, you know. So
I just want to play a survival horror game.
Yeah, right.
You don't get a lot of those anymore.
Have you played the demo for it?
No, I haven't. I
downloaded it and like I just haven't clicked on it.
I'm such a wuss too. Like I'm not meant to play Resident Evil games. I'm really not.
The demo on the TV, just playing it on the TV and not in VR. The demo alone is just it's creepy. It's not unbearable, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
With that headset on, it was like I can't even begin to describe how terrifying it was, and nothing really happens in the demo. Like nothing happens.
Yeah.
You walk up these stairs at one point and you're thinking like, you know how the Blair Witch, the original one, ended where it's like, what are you doing in the corner? And then just you're walking up these stairs and it's kind of like walking into a room like that, and you're thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna die, or something's gonna. Nothing happens, but the atmosphere that game sets with the sound effects and the soundtrack, quote unquote, not like a music soundtrack, but like
just
the actual
sound design.
It's unnerving. I had to take off the headset and finish the demo on TV.
And
it still scared the crap out of me.
If you have not played VR, there's no way to explain to a person that hasn't played VR how all-encompassing it is. Like you see those funny, and they're everywhere. You see someone, I saw one over the weekend where a girl was skydiving in VR, and so you literally see
I love
her,
how I think this is going to end.
Right? You literally see her like tiptoe out to the edge, and you can't see what she's playing, but you can imagine in your head of her tiptoeing, and you can see she's walking right up to the edge of that plane, and then she jumps out, and she immediately falls over. and you watch it, and you laugh because you should, but if you've played VR, you know what she's going through. Like, it is
absolutely terrifying.
I was telling my brother I played a Serious Sam demo at PAX last year, and there's a point in it where these like little creepy spider scorpion things kind of attack you, and in my head, you know, I've got these 2 guns and I'm shooting things, and in my head I'm thinking like, if those things get any closer, I'm going to have to kick them out of the way, because that's what you would do in real life. If, you know, some sort of creepy thing started, you know, crawling upstairs to you, your first reaction is to like, I've got to viscerally get these things away from me. And even though you also know my feet don't do a damn thing in VR, that's what you want to do because it feels so real. It is it's real
like, and
life.
I've never used like the Oculus or the
touch
Vive
controllers. Yeah.
because I've just got the PSVR, and I know it's a lower resolution and it's not as hyper realistic as the other ones tend to be.
A lot of it's just field of view, though. Like
and this one doesn't even, and the PSVR doesn't even have that big of a field of view even, but it's just enough to trick your brain into actually believing what's going on around you, and it's freakish and it's so much fun.
Well, and that's the thing too is anytime if you've ever watched a horror movie on your TV and just turned out the lights, you know what a big difference that makes. And so imagine if that room was just wrapped around your head. It's crazy. So it is going to be fun. But
I have the bleep button handy.
No,
there's going to be a lot of that
on YouTube. We'll just give people a warning that this is going to feature Adam screeching and swearing a lot. So
yeah, okay.
it'll be all right.
You can send me the audio file for whatever video we shoot, and then I can go through and bleep everything out.
It'll be perfect.
And we can do that. We're professionals.
We're professionals here. I have been talking all morning, though, actually, to one of our listeners, Steve, and he talking about Resident Evil a lot, and his personal favorites were 2 and 4, I believe. I think those are pretty much everybody's favorites, those especially critically talking. Yeah,
those are the two best.
Said those
were
just the games that changed his life, and he loved the Resident Evil series up until Resident Evil 6, which I think is also kind of a very standard thought. That Resident Evil 6 was a little bit nah.
It's kind of like, okay, there's another Resident Evil game.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, and I said, the reality is trying to make a consistent series of game across right now, 20 years? Yeah, I remember playing the first one in 95, 96. Like, that's really, really, really hard across multiple platforms and, multiple teams. I mean, the teams there are probably very, very different people than they were before. So, you can always expect, a game to change over time like that. But his big question about Resident Evil was, it used to be that, there's always been a bunch of survival horror games on the market, but really for the longest time it was Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. And Silent Hill came out and did some great things, and then Silent Hill PT came out and everyone was like, oh my God, what is that? And then they killed it and they took away the demo, and there's no more Silent Hill as far as anyone really knows. And so his question is did Resident Evil, did they make a mistake in not capitalizing sooner or faster or better on the lack of Silent Hill? And I would say almost survival horror games in general, that there's not that many of them. And the ones that are out there are kind of meh. Like, did they miss an opportunity to capitalize on that lack of competition? And is Resident Evil 7 enough to capitalize on that now?
It's a good question.
Right? Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It's almost like you can monopolize the whole survival horror genre. Because what survival horror games do we have lately?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think lately, are you talking across the board? Because you've obviously got Resident Evil, but then like the games that I downloaded.
Yeah, you've got Soma, and you've got... And
there's a bunch of there's not a lot of iconic properties or franchises.
There's indie stuff because you've got all the Amnesia games up till Soma, but Amnesia, like, those are both they're scary. Don't get me wrong, but they're not, and but they didn't see a huge wide release. And then what's the other one? I want to say it's Outlast. But
Outlast.
Is it Outlast? Yeah. Which is also scary. But
it was a different take on survival horror.
Yeah. And I've heard they're scary, but there's one of them. There's a sequel coming out. But, that's not... I was talking to some other buddies today about the same thing. And, Dead Space was real scary. Alien Isolation was real scary.
But then thinking, like, what games were actually real scary?
Yeah, well, not only real scary, but have come out in the last couple of years. Like, there's been kind of a drought of survival horror. And that was a gap that Resident Evil could have filled and really didn't. Resident Evil 6... was not...
I didn't play it. I've actually not played... I played Resident Evil 1, 2, 4, and 5.
I played a bit of 5, and that wasn't really a horror game. It was more action, which it was a good game.
It was a good game.
It was a strong game, but it was not...
It was a survival horror. It was action horror.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, and I think that maybe that's just what the genres become,
or what they thought people wanted. But there's
and I guess they're probably right. Most people probably just want to play... zombies.
Maybe that's actually the truth, though, is that there are, when you think about horror movies in terms of movies, there are two very prominent kinds of horror movies, really. There are your kind of slasher horror movies that would probably be more like an action game, right? Like, if you really think about this, they're bloody, they're full of actiony stuff. And then there's, horror suspense movies that you may never even see anyone get killed. Like, everything may happen off screen. Everything might just be done through building fear and suspense. I mean,
I'm getting scared.
Love or
I'm
hate
so scared
the
right
Blair
now.
Witch Project, which a lot of people felt both ways about it. I always thought it was kind of a good movie. That movie did
Which movie?
Blair Witch.
Oh, yeah.
That movie did a lot of really good things without a lot of scary stuff happening on camera.
But The Last of Us, I would call The Last of Us survival horror.
Absolutely.
Because it scares the crap out of me, and you're trying to survive.
Yeah.
And it's pretty horrific.
It is, but
Therefore, it's a survival horror.
But I think that definitely has like this big blockbuster feel to it, right?
Yeah.
It's very cinematic.
And I think that maybe is the differences, and that's what Resident Evil could have and should have been bringing to that. I mean, it's a big game. It's a AAA game developed by a AAA developer that presumably has a lot of money. They kind of flubbed 6, and all intents, 7 looks good. And a lot of the stuff I've been seeing on Twitter is people saying they fixed all the problems with it. That this was the game I wanted and this is the game I got. So hopefully 7 can be that game for us. It'll be real interesting to see, and we're going to get to see it with Adam doing it. So
yeah, and well, hopefully, to answer his question, hopefully that with the vacuum that Silent Hill kind of left, that Resident Evil didn't really fill in. Maybe this is the game that kind of fills in that space after, 10 years?
Well, and who knows? Maybe Kojima's new game, I mean, it's not coming out until 2020, but what's it called? I forget now.
That one with the dead people?
Something.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Even though I've read the name 900 times today.
Maybe that can be. It's got a lot of the same people that were in the PT demo kind of working on it. So maybe that could be something too. Although I don't think they've even released a genre yet. They've just released 2-3 really weird commercials. So who knows? But
weird commercials are in right now.
Right. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to play it. And I mean, you kind of got to RIP Silent Hill. That game. Those were great games. Hopefully that IP stays alive somehow.
That would be nice.
Comes back.
Fun.
Couple things to wrap up. We're going to talk about cheap games because Xbox has released their list.
And it's almost February.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Sony's going to release their list until today is the 30th.
Probably Wednesday?
They think actually tomorrow it'll be the 1st, so we don't know yet. But the Xbox list this month is so freaking good. First, starting on February 1st, actually, is Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time for the Xbox One.
Sounds like my love life.
It does. It's not at all. It's so good. I absolutely
really cool.
adore this game. It's set in this really weird spacey universe where a bunch of bunnies I know, right?
Because bunnies love. You know what bunnies do.
Bunnies love.
They love
multiply.
a lot. Frequently.
We're like the kind of keepers of this love stuff, and then it got shattered, and the bunnies were thrown across the universe, and you play these characters on this big round spaceship that have to go and rescue all these bunnies.
Death Star.
Yeah. And bring love back to this
bunnies on a Death Star,
to this solar system. And if you play it as a 1-player game, I don't even know how it works. But as a 2-player game, one of you gets to fly the ship, and then one of you controls the guns and the shield. And if you play it as a 3-player game, then one of you can control the ship, and one of you can control the shield, and one of you can control the guns. And if you add a 4th player, you can have 2 people on guns. And so the more people you play, it gets a little bit easier, but it's just frantic and so much fun. I played it 3-player with my wife and kid, and we had such a good time doing it. There's bad guys that attack you and planets you have to dodge, and this kind of fog of war on each level that you have to craft through and explore. And it's beautiful, and it's very. I mean, as a game called Lovers in Dangerous Spacetime would be, it's bright and pink and flashy, and the bosses are crazy. One of them is this giant bear marionette thing. It's really, really, really fun. I cannot recommend that enough.
I'm super excited to play that.
Yeah, it's great.
Makes me wish I had an Xbox.
Well, and it's gonna be. You have a PC though. You can get on the PC.
I can. Okay.
You should, and it's on sale all the time too. It's real fun.
Okay.
But then same day, Monkey Island 2 Special Edition for Xbox 360, forward compatible. The Xbox One's coming out. Monkey Island. I mean, a huge player in kind of that adventure game genre. Super, super fun. And then 16th through the 28th on 360, you're going to get Star Wars The Force Unleashed, which, if you have not played, is
super fun.
Absolutely phenomenal. I can never remember because I've played both 1 and 2. Do either of you know if one's the one where you start out playing as Darth Vader?
I think it's the second one.
Is that the
Is it the second one?
I only think that because I remember playing like the demo for it. But I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but God, those games are both so good. They're both kind of replayable because you can play each of those games at least twice because you can play once as a good guy and once as a bad guy, and it's a very different game depending on whether you're using good force powers or bad force powers. It's so much fun though to play a game as a Jedi that you have all the powers that you see Jedi use, but don't get used in video games a lot. There's nothing cooler than a X-Wing flying by and you reaching out with your force grab and slamming it into a wall.
Nice.
It's amazing. And it's a little bit older, but it's still super fun. And then the last one, 16th through March 15th on Xbox One, is Project Cars Digital Edition, which I don't know anything about because I don't really do car racing games. But
sweet.
If you do.
I think it's a pretty good car simulator. It's a simulator, though. It's not like a Need for Speed or
it's like a
Burnout.
Hyper-realistic.
It's more in the Gran Turismo or Forza, those style.
That's even
games.
less my style of car racing games.
Looks real pretty.
Yeah.
That's my style.
It's free. I think that's everyone's
definitely my style.
So if you like driving cars, that'll be fun.
This is an amazing month for Xbox Gold, though. Yeah. Those are just 4. Well, I don't know about cars, but those are 3 games that are terrific. So I'm excited. And lastly, we're going to talk Small Bites. We haven't done mobile games for a little while because I don't know. We don't play mobile games every week.
I do, but I always play the same
mobile game over and over and over
again.
I
play the same mobile game until I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I'm like, what's this new flashy, shiny thing that wants to charge me money that's never going to get any?
It's Pokemon Go.
It's Pokemon Go.
Oh, which I re-downloaded.
Of course
because I unrooted my phone. I unrooted my phone, so I was able to play it again because those turds broke the game for people who had rooted or jailbroken phones.
They broke the game for people that illegally, screwed up their phones.
So anyway, I've got the game back and all my stuff is still intact, which is really weird. But I've been playing that again, and I'm enjoying all the new features that everybody's been enjoying for the last 4 months. It's quite lovely. But I'm also playing that stupid Golf Clash game that I talked about last time.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I love it. And they actually make it really easy for you to get coins and these things to spend on stuff without actually having to spend money.
That's
so
the best kind of
keeps you
game.
engaged. It keeps you coming back because they did it right. That's how you do a pay-to-play kind of game. It's perfect.
I'll have to try that out. That sounds fun. One I'm going to talk about is actually not free. It is a premium game. It's, I think, $3. It's called Splitter Critters.
Well, that's just too much.
This looked real fun.
It's real fun. It's a game I've been following for like 6 months, mostly because my wife was actually the one that found it the first time.
Oh, look at that. It's only on iPhone.
It's coming out on Android, though.
Okay.
It just barely released on iPhone. It came out on like Tuesday of last week. But literally, I think my wife has asked me about once a week, like, is Splitter Critters out yet? I'm like, what? It came out on Tuesday. She's already beaten it. And was really, really pissed off that there was only like 42 levels. And then right? And then like last night at dinner, she's like wanted to show me something, brought it up, and there's this little moon that came up. She's like, oh, there's another 5 levels, and was super excited. I don't think went to bed last night until she beat him. So the whole premise of the game, though, is every level there is an alien or multiple aliens and a spaceship that they have to get to.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer.
Go watch the trailer. It's very cool. SplitterCritters.com. And you can split the level in half in order to bring them. So, for instance, if the alien critters were on the low part of the level and the spaceship was on the top part of the level, you can split that level in half and then drag them together so they can walk across the newly put together land to get over the spaceship. And then, as good puzzle games get, it just gets more and more and more complicated. You get a limited number of splits you can do to do it, and it's super fun. It's made by 2 guys out of Vancouver, and it's just fun. It's a great mobile game. Runs on iPad, iPhone right now. Android's coming. I think there's also a Steam version of it coming.
Nice.
But for $3, it's super fun. Will very much scratch that puzzle itch. The puzzles are short and small, so
and it's totally the game you want to play on a phone or an iPad.
Exactly.
Because like Fruit Ninja or whatever, it's like it's very visceral. Just like swiping and splitting the screen. Like,
yeah. And it's cool. Like it's one of those games that I've been watching for a while because my wife was so interested in it. So I follow both the guys on Twitter, and it's been interesting watching them kind of talk through the evolution of this game and how originally the splits were they weren't really exciting, and one day they we can make these splits look like you ripped a piece of paper in half, and so they redid all their visuals, and it's been cool to kind of watch the development of it too. So
nice. Yeah, it looks really cool. I like that art style too.
Yeah, the art style is real cute and fun, and all the aliens are cute, and there's some kind of enemy aliens that are also cute but bad. They'll eat your
bad
guys.
cute.
Yeah, and there's lasers, and it's fun. So definitely check that out.
Pew.
Exact pew pew pew.
Lasers help everything,
right? But I think that's actually us for this week.
Yeah,
it's a good.
I will continue to pimp our YouTube page because
we
really, really, really want to hit 50, and then we really, really, really want to hit 100 subscribers because it just lets us do things like actually name it so I can tell you where to go, which would be real cool. We're up to 28 subscribers. So
on YouTube?
On YouTube. So
wow, sweet. I'm wondering, so my friend Will, we went and saw Margaret Cho this past weekend.
Nice. How was that?
She was great.
Yeah.
She was great. But we were talking about, he's like, yeah, I listened to the podcast. And I was like, what? You listened? Holy crap. And he really liked it. And he was so proud of it. So I was like, yeah, I subscribed. And I'm like, to our, he's like, I want you to get that URL. And I'm like, so you subscribe to our YouTube channel? He's like, no, just your podcast. I'm like, okay, well, you're trying. So we appreciate it.
I'm actually extremely happy. We've I feel like almost famous because we've had quite a few people reach out on Facebook and Twitter that we don't know and say that they like the podcast and they enjoy listening to us.
They were not paid for their
as
participation.
far as we're their favorite gaming podcast.
Yeah. And from all over the U.S. too. It's been fun. I talked to a guy from Louisiana, and it's great. We're happy that you guys like it. So go like our YouTube too. I posted full playthroughs of Toby the Secret Mine up there. I posted full playthroughs of
like the whole game?
Rise and Shine. Yeah. I know, right?
Like 10 hours of Rise and Shine?
No, it felt that way. I actually edited all my dying out, so it's actually very concise.
But I got a little montage in there, though.
I know, yeah. There's some fun stuff up there, but exactly, yeah, a little bit of yakety sax. But I post a lot of the stuff I play up there, so there's that. Adam's stuff will go up there once we scare the crap out of him in Resident Evil, but that's cool for us. And obviously, you can catch us on Twitter and Facebook at Bite Me Podcast and bitemepodcast.com.
Yes.
And see all the fun stuff we do. So that's another week. Bite Me.
Yeah, and if you've got fun videos that, if anybody has a PSVR and they, go... Because when I play the VR thing, I'm stupid. I'm just dumb. I'm bouncing around and I'm praying to God I don't trip on a cord or something and screaming like a baby. So I know people have enjoyed watching me do that and make an ass out of myself in my living room. So
I'm so excited about this.
It's an experience, trust me. But I want to see other people. I want to make sure I'm not the only one who does that. I don't want to be lonely.
And if you have questions, stuff you'd like us to talk about, stuff you're interested in, make sure to hit us up. Facebook, Twitter, email, bite me, B-Y-T-E, me at bitemepodcast.com. We love to talk to people. So send us your thoughts, and maybe we'll talk about it on the next show.
Sweet. Bite me. Bye.